Chapter 405. I wonder if we can find the mechanism that controls the tunnel to attack automatically. Feng Yanro frowned. To be honest, although she was confident that she could make it through, it was more of an uncertainty. Without confidence, it would mean that she would die for sure. No one would not value their life, and she was no exception. Yi Chen's expression did not change. He touched his storage ring and took out another item. It was not a low-rank item, but a real mid-rank one. Pouring his green lotus Shen Yuan into it, Yi Chen shot it out at the same speed. Pooh! 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 The hardness of a mid-rank item was way higher than a low-rank item after all. The first light beam did not manage to shatter it, but it was followed by the second, third, fourth. A total of 13 light beams landed on it. The mid-rank item that even Yi Chen could not destroy finally exploded. The explosion of flame dyed the whole tunnel red, a bright red. This is impossible. Qingzhu's mouth was wide open. Feng Yanro also shook her head. She did not have any hope anymore, unless they could find the mechanism. But, if the mechanism of the puppet martial school was that easy to find, then it would not be the puppet martial school anymore. Yi Chen said lightly, the speed of my low-rank item is 4.5 times the speed of sound. The mid-rank item will be hit by the light beam when it reaches 420 meters, and the mid-rank item will be hit as well. If I increase the speed to 6 times the speed of sound, then it should be hit at 560 meters. Think about it, if I reach 560 meters and am not hit, would I be able to make it? Of course. At 6 times the speed of sound, there will be nothing to be afraid of in the first 560 meters. If I am not hit at 560 meters, then I can travel another 560 meters at once. But, how can I not be hit? Also, if I am not hit at 560 meters, can you guarantee that I will not be hit at 570 meters? Qingzhu was not that stupid either, so she asked a couple of crucial questions. Yi Chen said confidently, I can use something to block out the light beam attack. But, it needs to be big enough to cover one side of my body, since you do not know where it will attack you. Therefore, a mid-rank defensive item would not be able to guarantee my safety. Cover one side of the body, and it will be able to block out one attack of the light beam. Puppet warrior. Feng Yanro was very smart, so she immediately said the best option. Yi Chen nodded, indeed. Just like I thought, the puppet warrior's defense is powerful enough to block out one attack of the light beam. This time, it was Feng Yanro who asked, but, just like you said, the puppet warrior can only cover one side of the body. Will the light beam come from the other side? Once it does, it will turn you into a hornet's nest. Yi Chen laughed, the low-rank great item that I threw out earlier was aimed at the center of the left side, and the light beam came from the left side. The mid-rank great item was aimed at the center of the right side, and the light beam came from the top. If I am not wrong, it was aimed at the center of the right side, and the light beam would come from the right side. The 4 sides of this tunnel are equal, which is a square. If you connect the 2 opposite corners together, there will be 4 triangles. Let's not talk about the bottom triangle for now. Let's talk about the top 3 triangles first. When we are inside one of the triangles, we will be attacked by the light beam from the wall that is connected to that triangle. Simply speaking, whichever wall we are close to, we will be attacked from that side. As for the bottom triangle, if we are close to the left side, we will be attacked from the left side, and vice versa. Impossible. You have only tried it twice, and you have already found the pattern? Qingzhu did not believe it. He took out some useless things from his storage ring and started to experiment. In the end, the result was exactly the same as what Yi Chen had said. Whichever wall we were close to, we would be attacked from that side, and we could completely predict the direction of the attack. Mr. Yi, have you experienced something like this before? Feng Yanro asked confusedly. Yi Chen shook his head, this is a mechanism. Mechanisms are different from puppets, as there is a pattern. If it were puppets, then I would not be able to do anything about it. Puppets were even more powerful than mechanisms. Without a doubt, the smaller the loopholes, the better it would be. But no matter what, there would always be loopholes. The key was whether you could see them or not. He did not know what the creator of this mechanism was thinking. If it were him, he would make sure that whichever wall we were close to would be attacked by the light beam from that side. Without this rule, once a person entered, they would be attacked by the light beam from all three walls, and the loopholes would be much smaller. Perhaps, the creator of this mechanism was trying to save energy, or maybe he was trying to train his disciples' thinking ability. No one knew. Let's go in then. Qingzhu was eager to try. Not yet. There is one last experiment. Yichen took out 2 low-rank weapons, one big and one small. He shook his hand and shot them out. The 2 low-rank weapons were in an absolutely parallel position, with the same height and speed. They were close to the left wall, with the big one covering the small one. Pooh! A beam of light shot out from the left side of the wall, shattering the large low-grade artifact. The small low-grade artifact was unscathed as it passed through the passage. This time, Yichen had shot it out at 6 times the speed of sound. Now it is done. Yichen let out a breath. You are so smart. Qingzhu realized that she had started to admire Yichen. Just like what she had said before, if they could not attack from 560 meters, then what would happen from 570 meters? But in the end, Yichen said to use the puppet warrior to block the attack, which made her forget about the rest of the possibilities. Indeed, the puppet warrior could help them block the attack, but only if they continued to fly and did not get hit by the light beam. Otherwise, everything would be useless. As for controlling the puppet warrior to block the attack, it would be even more unrealistic, since the power of the light beam would make the puppet warrior crash into them. Feng Yanrou also admired Yichen a lot. Normally, even if they could find a way, it would take them a long time. Plus, it would be hard to tell if they could stay calm all the time. Let me go first. Yichen stood outside the entrance. 6 times the speed of sound might be hard for other extreme astral-reaching realm warriors, but Yichen had learned the sword steps, so it would not be a problem for him to increase his speed to 6 times the speed of sound in a short period of time. Plus, ever since he had condensed his sword intent into the shape of his sword spirit, it also had the ability to increase his speed. However, it was his ace card, and he would not reveal it easily. Shoo! Extending his body, Yichen shot into the tunnel within a second, leaning towards the wall on the left. When he reached 550 meters, he made a preemptive move, taking out an Axeman puppet to block on the left. The second the puppet appeared, Yichen was already 560 meters away. Pooh! A beam of light landed on the puppet, and Yichen dropped it. His speed did not decrease at all as he continued to fly forward at an extreme speed. Finally, Yichen reached the other end of the tunnel. Under the attack of that beam of light, the Axeman could not handle it and exploded. Seeing that Yichen had succeeded, Feng Yanrou and Qingzhu had no reason to worry about anything else. As for 6 times the speed of sound, they were not afraid either, since the Wavy Snow Martial School had a lot of secret arts that could increase one's speed. Of course, it would only be for a short period of time, but it would be enough. Actually, it would not matter if they were slower, but they would have to do it in 2 batches, which would mean losing 2 puppet warriors for each person. They would not be willing to do that, unless they could find something hard enough to replace the puppet warriors. After losing 2 puppet warriors, the 2 successfully passed. Feng Yanrou was about to talk to Yichen when she saw him staring at a certain place. She could not help but follow his gaze. There was a sign in the corner with a line of words written on it. Congratulations on finding a way to pass through the death tunnel within the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. You are now qualified to pick a top-rank puppet. Our puppet school needs disciples like you. Feng Yanrou said with surprise, it is actually used to test the disciples of the puppet school. I see. No wonder it was so easy. Yi-Chen still felt that this mechanism was too easy for Feng Yanro and Qingzhu to think of. First, it was because the time was too short, and they had not calmed down enough to think about it. Second, they did not know that it was a test, so they did not treat it as one. Of course, there would be a lot of people who could not think of it within the time it takes for an incense stick to burn. Without thinking about it, Yi-Chen said, "Since we have passed, let's go in and have a look." Top-rank puppets are one rank higher than puppet warriors. I wonder what kind they will be. Taking back his sight, Yi-Chen walked into the warehouse. The warehouse was divided into a lot of rooms. Walking past one after another, the three did not look too good. They had worked so hard to get in, but there was not even a single puppet inside. Soon, the three arrived at a room in the corner. Opening the door, the room was not empty. Instead, there were 5 puppets neatly arranged inside. These 5 puppets were all very large. On the left were 2 bird-type puppets, and on the right were 3 beast-type puppets. Whether they were bird-type puppets or beast-type puppets, they all had wings, which meant that they could fly high in the sky. These were puppets that could be used for traveling. 5 top-rank puppets. Top-rank puppets would have a speed close to Sea of Souls realm warriors. Once they are filled with extreme rank spirit stones, it would be easy for them to surpass Sea of Souls realm warriors. Feng Yanro was shocked. Yi-Chen laughed. 5? How should we split them? He would definitely not want to take one, so he threw the question back to her. Feng Yanro said, "Although I was the one who told you about the ruins of the puppet martial school near the Blue Mountain Island, you were the one who found it, and it was also you who found the way to get through the death tunnel. Therefore, you should take 2 of them, and the other 3 should belong to me and my sister disciple Qingzhu. What do you think?" "Thank you so much." Among the 5 flying puppets, Yi-Chen chose a flying-type puppet and a beast-type puppet. The flying-type puppet was in the shape of a rock, while the beast-type was in the shape of a leopard. He had not used the flying puppet yet, so Yi-Chen branded his own mental mark on it before filling in the top-rank spirit stones. He slightly pushed his mental power, and the flying puppet's wings started to flap intensely, bringing up a powerful chi flow that looked like sharp blades. Of course, the main purpose of the wings was not to speed up, but to control the direction. The acceleration came from the 3 nozzles on the back of the puppet, each of which was as thick as a bowl. With 2 flying puppets in his hands, Yi-Chen thought that it was a worthwhile trip. Chapter 406. Mr. Yi, most of the treasures have been taken by us, but please do not tell anyone. Right then, Feng Yanro said. Yi-Chen looked around and nodded, "You are right. This ruin itself is a great treasure. For example, that silver protective cover, the building that was made into a huge mechanism, and that death tunnel, they are all enough to make any rank 6 martial school go crazy. Even rank 5 martial schools would want them. Don't worry, I will not take these things away, and I will not burn the bridge after crossing it. But, if your snowy martial school makes too big of a move, it would be hard for you to hide from the other rank 6 martial schools." Feng Yanro said, "Indeed, it would be very hard to take the ruin for ourselves. We might even have to share it with the others. But, since it was us who came here first, we will definitely get the biggest share. That is why Yanro hopes that Mr. Yi will keep it a secret." Yi-Chen smiled. He was not interested in the fights between the big martial schools. Since he had already gotten enough, this place had lost its value to him. He suggested, "Let's go back the way we came." The 3 left the warehouse and came to the tunnel. The death tunnel would be attacked when they came in, but it would be quiet when they went out. Of course, Yi-Chen did not dare to take the risk. After a couple of tests, he flew out the way he came in, afraid that something might happen to the tunnel and he might die. The 3 came out, and the puppet warriors followed closely behind. After the time it took to make a pot of tea, the 3 appeared at the bottom of the lake. Looking back at the white gold bone disappearing chi, Yi-Chen thought to himself, "This place is 40,000 miles away from the Blue Mountain Island, and it is hidden in the deepest part of the lake. Without getting close to 10 miles, I would not be able to sense it at all. If it were not for my powerful soul power, and my sword spirit embryo had given birth to the light of will power, which has a range of 80 miles, it would be very easy to miss it. Exploring the depths of the lake with a radius of 50,000 miles, it was too easy to miss out on 10 miles of area. It was unavoidable. Back in the Blue Mountain Island, Yi Chen noticed that the foundation of his golden statue had been built. It was 10 meters in both length and width. Judging from the scale, it would not be a problem for the statue to reach 1 to 200 meters tall. 1 to 200 meters tall statue made entirely out of gold, the Blue Mountain Nation was quite careful in this aspect. In the following days, Yi Chen spent all his time learning the Thunder Beast transformation and the sky-shattering clouds. The Thunder Beast transformation was a top-rank Earth Realm martial art, and its fourth transformation, the Thunder Bird transformation, was only slightly less difficult than the ninth movement of the Green Lotus sword art. However, Yi Chen did not plan to master it within a short period of time. He only wanted to use the Thunder Beast transformation as a springboard, preparing to merge the eighth movement of the Sky Cloud sword art with the Sky-shattering clouds. The Sky-shattering clouds combined with the eighth movement of the Sky Cloud sword arts could be said to be Yi Chen's biggest goal in the near future. It was not that he was too impatient, but that he had no other choice. The advantages of low-rank profound martial arts were too great. As long as he could comprehend 10%, he would be able to surpass the eighth movement of the Green Lotus sword arts and the current Sky-shattering clouds. If he could comprehend 20%, his power would double, and he would be able to challenge those with higher realms. If he could comprehend 30%, then it would be horrifying. Yi Chen could imagine what would happen if an astral-reaching paragon with a top-rank artifact fought against him with 30% of a low-rank profound martial art. At the very least, he did not have absolute confidence in winning against his opponent, not to mention the 40 to 50%. Yi Chen did not even dare to imagine it. Although Yi Chen's battle power was twice that of an astral-reaching paragon, he could not afford to be too far behind in some aspects. How could he not be anxious? Once the Sky-shattering clouds is combined with the eighth movement of the Sky Cloud sword arts, its power should be equal to the ninth movement of the Green Lotus sword arts. It would be enough to compete with 20% of a low-rank profound martial art. The most urgent thing right now is to reach this goal, and then comprehend the ninth movement of the Green Lotus sword arts. Once these two are completed, it will be time for me to comprehend the profound and create my own low-rank profound martial art. Yi Chen's goal was very clear. He knew that breaking through from the astral-reaching realm to the Sea of Souls realm was too difficult. Even Xianhou had to spend 6 to 7 years to cultivate from the astral-reaching realm to the Sea of Souls realm. Meanwhile, he had reached the astral-reaching realm at the age of 19. Right now, he was 21, and it had only been 2 years. Even if his talent was higher than Xuanhou's, it would still be impossible for him to become a Sea of Souls realm expert in such a short time. Therefore, the development of martial arts was the most important thing. Learning martial arts was not the only thing that Yi Chen wanted to do. There were a lot of ruins around the Blue Mountain Island, and Yi Chen would occasionally go there to explore and search for some treasures. His soul power's range was about 5 times that of normal astral-reaching realm warriors, which was too big of an advantage. He could always find some good stuff. Just the day before yesterday, he found an extremely rare blood yuan plant in a herb garden. Although it was not as valuable as the sky demon flower petals, it was still a great healing plant. Plus, the blood yuan plant had an advantage, which was that even if one did not have Jin yuan in their body, they would be able to take effect immediately. Spirit plants, spirit stones, great weapons, martial arts, Yi Chen had gained quite a lot, and he also had the thought of leaving the Blue Mountain Island. Above the boundless Star Regional Lake, there were no clouds for thousands of miles. The sky was clear, and a light breeze was blowing gently, bringing up small waves. A human figure descended from the sky, stepping on the surface of the lake. This place is thousands of miles away from the Blue Mountain Island. There should not be many people passing by. I will use the flying puppet to get there. It was indeed Yuchen. Since the Blue Mountain Island had too many people, there were not many remote places. Therefore, after exploring most of the ancient ruins, he decided to leave the Blue Mountain Island, preparing to merge the 8th style of the Sky Cloud Sword art into the sky-shattering clouds. Learning martial arts would not be a bad way to go. In the Boundless Star Regional Lake, those uninhabited islands were undoubtedly the best choice. Buzz! The air slightly vibrated, and the leopard-shaped puppet appeared in front of Yuchen. The puppet was 4 meters long and 2.5 meters tall. It had a pair of 8 meters long wings. Its claws were sharp, and its eyes were 2 bowl-sized gems. Apart from the fact that it did not breathe, it looked very similar to a leopard-shaped beast. From afar, one would definitely not mistake it for a puppet. Flipping over and sitting on the puppet, Yuchen pushed his mental power, making the puppet run. Splash! 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 Without spreading its wings, the puppet started to run at an extreme speed on the lake. Because of the energy in its feet, it was running very steadily. Soon, it did not sink into the lake. Yeah, its running speed is about 3 times the speed of sound. Yuchen nodded. This speed was already very satisfying for him, since even rank 9 beasts could only run at this speed on the ground. Only by relying on the beast Yuan could they reach 10 times the speed of sound. Even if it were a Sea of Souls realm warrior, it would still be the same. Fly! As he gave the order, the puppet opened its wings and started to flap violently. Waves started to appear on the surface of the lake, bringing up a 100-meter-tall wave. Shoo! A high-pitched sound was heard as the puppet shot into the sky, bringing Yuchen up to 10,000 meters in the sky. 7 times. 8 times. 9 times. 10 times. Soon, the puppet's speed reached 10 times the speed of sound, which was slightly slower than Sea of Souls realm warriors. At the end of its tail, 3 nozzles were shooting out scorching streams of air. This stream of air could melt gold and iron, even burning the air into nothingness. This speed is too fast. Yuchen was shocked. The only time he had experienced 10 times the speed of sound was when Long Bai brought him back to the Windy Nation. His fastest speed was definitely not more than 7 times the speed of sound. With this flying puppet, I will not need to use Jin Yuan to travel anymore. As for top-rank spirit stones, that would indeed be a problem. The flying puppet would need to be filled with 120 top-rank spirit stones each time. If it flew at full speed, it would last for 24 hours, which would cost 120 top-rank spirit stones. In a few days, the 3,500 top-rank spirit stones that Yuchen had gotten from the battles would be used up, and he would not be able to afford it at all. Let's see if I can fill in the mid-rank spirit stones. I do not need to travel this fast anyway. Yuchen suddenly had an idea as he told the puppet to stop. After digging out the top-rank spirit stones, Yuchen filled in 120 mid-rank spirit stones. Then, he continued to fly at full speed. 3 times. 4 times. 5 times. After filling in the mid-rank spirit stones, the maximum speed of the puppet was 5 times the speed of sound. This speed is more than enough. I will use mid-rank spirit stones in the future. Different from top-rank spirit stones, Yuchen already had more than 2 million mid-rank spirit stones. He could definitely afford it. Moreover, the consumption of Jin Yuan was actually more expensive than mid-rank spirit stones. Once his Jin Yuan was used up, he would need to replenish it with pellets, and a single pellet would cost quite a lot of mid-rank spirit stones. Of course, using mid-rank spirit stones as the energy source could only last for 6 hours, and he would have to change it every 6 hours. Traveling at 5 times the speed of sound, Yuchen soon found a deserted island that he was satisfied with. The deserted island was huge, no less than 1,000 miles in size. There were a large number of land beasts living on it, and there were also a few amphibious beasts. Landing in the mountains on the west side of the island, Yi-Chin quickly put away the puppet. Let's comprehend it here. Time flowed like water, and Yi-Chin had already lived on the deserted island for 3 days. During this time, Yi-Chen's comprehension of the Thunder Beast transformation went smoothly. The Thunder Beast transformation had a total of 4 transformations: Thunder Bear, Thunder Leopard, Thunder Lion, and Thunder Bird. Yi-Chin had already comprehended the 3rd transformation a long time ago. Now, he had even trained it to completion, and the 4th transformation, Thunder Bird transformation, was starting to make some progress. Break! Holding the Thunder Sword with both of his hands, Yi-Chin threw out a sword attack towards the mountain in front of him. Boom! A Thunder Lion with 2 wings rushed out and crashed into the middle of the mountain. With a thunderous sound, the huge mountain was blown into pieces. Black rocks flew everywhere, as if it was the end of the world. Thunder Lion transformation combined with Thunder Bird transformation, growing a pair of wings. It is time to study the sky-shattering clouds. I believe it will be a success this time. In fact, to merge the 8th movement of the Sky Cloud Sword art with the sky-shattering clouds, he only needed one opportunity. That was why Yi-Chin went to study the Thunder Beast transformation, hoping to find this opportunity from the thunder mentality of the Thunder Beast transformation and use it in his martial arts. What was more troublesome was that this time, he only needed to merge the sword movement of the Sky Cloud Sword art without the cloud mentality, because from mentality to profound, the 2 different elements would gradually separate. It was just like a low-rank profound martial art, which only had 1 profound, so it was impossible to have 2. Previously, he had combined the cloud mentality with the thunder mentality. In the short term, it was indeed a shortcut, but in the long term, it was a mistake. When the 2 complementary mentalities reached their limit, they would eventually separate. Right now, Yi-Chin had made great progress in the thunder mentality, so he needed to separate the cloud mentality. Chapter 407. White clouds filled the sky, and the sun and moon flew past. On a flat land amidst the mountains, a huge wooden house had appeared out of nowhere. There seemed to be an invisible barrier around the house, preventing some low-grade demonic beasts from entering. Inside the house, Yi-Chin sat cross-legged on the wooden floor, cultivating. With the upper-grade spirit stones, reaching the peak of late astral reaching realm was only a matter of time, which would save Yi-Chin a lot of trouble and time. After absorbing the yuan qi of the 2 upper-grade spirit stones, Yi-Chin slowly opened his eyes. Worthy of being an upper-grade spirit stone. The yuan qi's purity is several times that of a mid-grade spirit stone. There's no need to refine it, as it can be directly transformed into Jin yuan. The total amount is also dozens of times that of a mid-grade spirit stone. Although its effect is not as good as the Earth Astral Pellet, the remaining upper-grade spirit stones are enough for me to reach the peak of late astral reaching realm. Moreover, there's still more to go. 1 month. I only need 1 month to temporarily complete my cultivation base. Cultivation base was different from other things. The peak of late astral reaching realm was complete, and the next step would be the Sea of Soul realm. Martial skills and sword soul embryo both had room for improvement, as they could allow a martial artist to have the strength to challenge those with higher cultivation levels. Kacha. The weather of the Star Regional Lake was constantly changing. A moment ago, the sun was shining high in the sky, and the next moment, dark clouds covered the sky. The lake water was filled with raging waves as if it was the end of the world. One after another, silver snakes tore through the dark void, followed by a torrential rain, pouring down like water from the heavenly river. Such a heavy rain would only need a moment to turn a person into a drowned rat. In a short moment, it could fill a depression in the ground with rainwater. It's time to comprehend sword arts. During these days on the island, apart from cultivating, Yi-Chin was comprehending, regardless of rain or shine. He had already experienced this kind of thunderstorm several times. Opening the door, Yi-Chin arrived at the open space in front of the house and raised his head to look at the sky. When the rain reached 30 meters above his head, it would slide down to the side, where there was an invisible barrier. Without any hesitation, Yichen took a step out of the protective layer. Leaving the protective shield, the rain vented its anger on Yichen, instantly turning him into a man who had just been fished out of the river. His clothes clung tightly to his body, outlining the curves of his strong muscles. The corner of Yichen's mouth curled up. In fact, if he slightly circulated his Jin Yuan, not to mention the pouring rain, even the rain formed by thunder and lightning would not be able to touch him at all. However, since he wanted to comprehend sword arts, he had to be in close contact with nature. If the first of the 3 layers of sky, the surprising sky, could allow Yichen's thunder mentality to reach its limit, then the natural weather would be the best time to comprehend sword arts. The mysteries of nature were not that simple. The coldness of the rain and the flickering silver snakes in his eyes allowed Yichen to enter the best state of comprehension. My state of thunder evolved from the state of cloud. Now, I need to completely cut off the connection and form a complete system. Only then can I improve further. Crackle. A faint purple bolt of lightning streaked across the sky. It was dozens of miles long, breathtaking, domineering, and filled with a lingering sense of shock. The center of Yichen's eyebrows swelled. His soul power instantly radiated onto the faint purple lightning, feeling its unique vibration. He could not see anything from the first one. The second one. The third one. The fourth one. Each lightning strike would fall into Yichen's soul power's perception, allowing him to carefully comprehend the changes within, extracting the essence and discarding the impurities. The rain was getting heavier and heavier, and the lightning was getting more and more destructive. Yichen took a deep breath. As he inhaled, the rain in the sky gathered together like a long dragon, attacking towards Yichen. Break! With his tongue on his palate, Yichen yelled as the thunder sword was taken out of its scabbard, slicing through the air. Ting! The shocking sword sound resonated in the sky. A sword light without any lightning lit up the whole world. With an unstoppable momentum, it sliced out horizontally. Wherever it went, the mountains were cut into deep valleys. The rain was shattered by the invisible power, and a rainless area appeared. Swish! 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 Endless electric currents flashed on both sides of the valley, scorching the surface. This sword attack. So tyrannical. This sword attack could be said to be Yichen's strongest sword attack. One could see the extreme changes of lightning within it. Only one step away from touching upon the profound of thunder. Finally done. Half a month of accumulation, half a month of hard work, and today, a door had finally been opened for him, a door to the thunder profound. If this sword art was a top-rank Earth Realm sword art passed down from the ancient people, then Yichen would have already trained it to completion. It should be known that even a lot of Sea of Souls realm warriors could not reach this level. They would have to train 2 or 3 top-rank Earth Realm martial arts to completion before they could learn the profound. This move has no connection with the cloud mentality. It shouldn't be called sky-shattering clouds. I should think of a name related to lightning. Letting out a breath, Yichen started to ponder. After thinking for a while, he decided to name this move Sky Thunder Cut. The first word was related to sky-shattering clouds. After all, it was derived from sky-shattering clouds. The second word didn't need any explanation, but the third word represented the sharpness of this move. It was even more tyrannical than slashing. Sky Thunder Cut. Let's call it Sky Thunder Cut then. Yichen was very satisfied with this name. With the Sky Thunder Cut, the power of my sword attacks would be equivalent to comprehending 20% of a low-rank profound martial skill. If I managed to train the 9th movement of the Green Lotus sword art as well, then I would have 2 low-rank profound martial skills with 20% comprehension. One would be close to the Thunder Profound, while the other would be close to the Wood Profound. As for the Cloud mentality and the Water mentality, I would have to give them up for now. It was not unreasonable to give up the cloud mentality, since it was learned from the Earth Realm low-rank Sky Cloud sword art, which was much weaker than the peak-rank Earth Realm sword arts. If he trained the Sky Cloud sword art to perfection, would he be able to comprehend the profound? Of course not. Therefore, the cloud mentality would not be able to reach a high level, and the water mentality would also be the same. It was a supporting mentality of the Green Lotus sword art, and its main mentality was still the wood mentality. Therefore, the ninth movement did not have the water mentality, only the wood mentality. Putting the sword back into the scabbard, Yi Chen's body shook. All the water on his body, clothes, and hair had been shaken into nothingness, and he looked clean and fresh again. Back in the wooden house that was covered by the protective layer, Yi Chen jumped into the bath. The water in the bath was hot water. As for boiling water, Yi Chen did not need to think about it. With the mid-rank soul stones as the power source, everything inside was automatic. In terms of the essence of wisdom, this place was way more advanced than the world that Yi Chen came from. At least, there was no need to generate electricity here. On the second day, Yi Chen did not leave immediately. Although the Sky Thunder cut had been completed, he had not fully mastered it yet. Knowing it was one thing, but using it to its extreme was another. On the summit, Yi Chen's figure flickered like lightning. The thunder sword in his hand slashed out with every step he took. There was no sword light, as the true might was restrained. However, the aura of the sword ripping through the void gave off an incomparably shocking feeling. It was a restrained eruption, like a bolt of lightning striking down from the pitch-black sky, shaking one to the core. Sky Thunder cut, nothing it cannot cut. Throwing out a mid-rank artifact, Yi Chen slashed at it. Clang! A blazing flame shot out, tearing a huge hole in the extremely hard mid-rank artifact. It should be known that without the attack power of Sea of Soul Realm experts, almost no one could destroy a mid-rank artifact. Even the light beam in the death tunnel could not shatter a mid-rank artifact in one go. It would take many times. At this moment, if an astral-reaching expert saw Yi Chen casually destroying a mid-rank artifact, they would certainly be heartbroken. There were so many astral-reaching experts in True Spirit Continent, and 60% of them had a mid-rank artifact. The remaining 40% didn't even have a suitable weapon, using low-rank artifacts. A mid-rank artifact was worth at least 30,000 mid-rank soul stones. How could they not feel heartache when they lost it just like that? Of course, if they knew that Yi Chen had destroyed one or two mid-rank artifacts in the puppet school's ruins, they would probably be in a state of panic. However, if they had Yi Chen's wealth, they probably wouldn't care about mid-grade weapons either. 2 million mid-grade spirit stones could already buy 70 or 80 mid-grade weapons. Moreover, these mid-grade weapons weren't bought by Yi Chen, but taken by those people who wanted to kill him. Before returning to the Windy Nation, he had left a few mid-grade weapons for the Sky Cloud Martial School and the Yi family, and the rest of the mid-grade weapons were all on him. Sky Thunder Cut can tear apart mid-rank artifacts at close range, but it probably won't work if it's a bit further. Yi Chen was very clear about this. Only a real attack would be the most powerful attack. Two people with similar strength would not use a long-range attack. After all, without overwhelming strength, the power of the attack would be limited by such a long distance. Distance was the law of nature, and could not be ignored. Clang 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 clang. After tearing a hole on the mid-rank artifact, Yi Chen's sword art became faster and faster. In the blink of an eye, he had already slashed out dozens of times. The mid-rank artifact had been completely shattered into thousands of pieces. It's time to go to the extreme Yin region. After successfully completing the Sky Thunder Cut, Yi Chen naturally would not stay on the island any longer. His next destination was the extreme Yin region between the Wavy Cloud region and the Misty Snow region. The extreme Yin region was very low in altitude, and the earth chi there was very rich, so much so that it had even formed a black mist. The sky was yang, and the earth was yin. That place was the place with the densest earth chi. It was also the most chaotic place. There were no sects there, only countless gangs. It was a very cruel place, and if one wanted to survive there, one must have enough strength. Of course, going to the extreme Yin region was not because one had nothing better to do. Precisely because the extreme Yin region was extremely chaotic and lawless, treasures that couldn't be found in the market would often appear. Some of these treasures had unknown origins, and couldn't be sold through normal channels. They could only be bought in the extreme Yin region. Several hundred years ago, the skeleton of a life and death king appeared in an auction in the extreme Yin region. The life and death king's Jin Yuan and body had fused into one. Even a drop of blood had its martial imprint, not to mention a complete skeleton. It was simply a priceless treasure. Later on, it was won by an extremely mysterious Sea of Soul Realm Master. After that Sea of Soul Realm Master left, he was besieged by numerous Sea of Soul Realm experts. The source was the Life and Death King's skeleton. As for the final result, nobody knew. Chapter 408. The Star Regional Lake extended all the way to the hinterland of Misty Snow region, and was also a tributary of the extreme Yin region's Blackwater Lake. In fact, almost all the larger lakes and rivers of the southern sector were connected to the Star Regional Lake, which could be said to be the largest lake in the southern sector. The extreme Yin region was located in the northwest direction of the Star Regional Lake. The further one flew, the lower the temperature became. The surface of the lake had already started to form a thin layer of ice. In the sea of clouds, Yichen rode on the leopard puppet and leisurely drank wine. In the extreme Yin region, Sea of Soul Realm is the king, and extreme astral reaching experts dominate. But, under normal circumstances, Sea of Soul Realm experts won't come out, since they've swallowed too many dirty treasures. Once they appear in the eyes of the world, they will inevitably be hunted down by Sea of Soul Realm experts of big sections. Compared to a powerful 6th grade sect like the Snowy Palace, a lone Sea of Soul Realm expert is too weak. Only Sea of Soul Realm masters have life-saving means, but they still have to flee. But, none of this has anything to do with me. Punching through the sea of clouds, Yichen looked down to see where he was looking. What he saw almost made him break out in a cold sweat. In front of him, 3 figures were chasing each other, 1 in front and 2 behind. Their speed had reached an astonishing 13 times the speed of sound, and it was still increasing. Wherever they went, the air would be torn open, leaving a vacuum tunnel that couldn't be closed. The space rippled like water, circle after circle, shattering the void. It was 3 Sea of Soul Realm experts. Each one of them was a lot stronger than the gray-haired old man from Floating Mountain Sect, almost at the same level as sect leader Long. Especially the one on the left, his aura was as deep as the ocean. Whether or not he was a Sea of Soul Realm master, Yichen didn't know, but he was definitely a powerful Sea of Soul Realm expert. Not good, they're coming. Yichen's expression changed as he hurriedly put away the leopard puppet. An innocent man would get into trouble because of his treasures. The puppet mechanism technique of the puppet school had almost been lost, and the leopard puppet was obviously not an ordinary item. If he were to be targeted by one of them, Yichen would have nowhere to run. Xiao. In practically the blink of an eye, the person in the lead had already arrived above the sea of clouds. He glanced at Yichen who was about to dodge, and he didn't even think before casually waving his hand to clear the path. Rumble. The surging energy was like a huge wave that was tens of thousands of meters tall, sweeping everything in its path. Everything in its path was instantly annihilated, and the sea of clouds disappeared. It was as if the sky had split open. Yichen groaned inwardly as he pulled out the thunder sword and executed the sky thunder cut that he had recently comprehended. Puff! The sky thunder cut was indeed powerful, but the gap between their strengths was just too big. Yichen vomited a mouthful of blood and was sent flying dozens of miles away. Just a casual wave of his hand was enough to seriously injure me. Dozens of miles away, Yichen wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, his eyes shining brightly. The person in the lead didn't notice whether Yi Chen was dead or not, because he was fleeing for his life. As for attacking Yi Chen, it was only to clear the obstacles. Otherwise, if he used a profound sense martial skill, Yi Chen would be dead already. Taoist Six Fingers, stay. The person on the left behind used some kind of profound secret art, increasing his speed by 30% and turning into an illusory arc of light, intercepting the person in front. This Sea of Soul realm expert called Taoist Six Fingers was a middle-aged man with a long beard. His temperament was extremely gloomy, and his eyes were long and sharp. He coldly said, "You've been chasing me for 2 hours. Aren't you going too far? Do you really think I, Taoist Six Fingers, am easy to bully?" The yellow-faced middle-aged man in front of Taoist Six Fingers smiled, "Spit out the things you bought from the auction house, and we won't stop you again. This is something I bought with 60,000 upper-grade spirit stones. If you spit it out just like that, who's going to compensate me for my spirit stones?" In just a short while, the Sea of Soul realm expert had already caught up and said with a coarse voice, "Where did you buy it from? Who's going to compensate? This upper-grade artifact belongs to my junior brother. Don't even think about taking it away. Otherwise, today will be the day you die." Taoist Six Fingers flew into a rage, "Nobody can make me spit out the things that have fallen into my hands. Since you don't want to let me have an easy time, then bring it on. I'd like to see what you can do to me, Taoist Six Fingers." "Humph. Senior Brother Wang, don't make a move. Let me experience Taoist Six Fingers methods." A meteor hammer appeared in the robust middle-aged man's hand. The end of the hammer was fastened to a chain, and it was at least dozens of meters long. Holding the chain in one hand and the handle of the hammer in the other, the robust middle-aged man operated his Zhen Yuan. Surging Zhen Yuan undulated like raging waves, instantly rising to the peak. Exploding Fire Hammer. The meteor hammer was flung by the robust middle-aged man, turning into surging flames. Scram! Taoist Six Fingers raised his right hand. From dozens of li away, Yi Chen discovered that this right hand had an extra pinky finger. No wonder he was called Taoist Six Fingers. Taoist Six Fingers bellowed and slapped at the incoming meteor hammer. In the air, a black, six-fingered palm appeared out of nowhere. The patterns on the palm were clearly visible. This Zhen Yuan palm was propelled by a special profound, which had an extremely strong corrosive power. The 6 fingers closed together, grabbing onto the blazing meteor hammer. Bang! The flames wrapped around the meteor hammer fiercely exploded. This was the profound of fire, and the powerful explosive force instantly blasted away the 6-fingered palm. Taoist 6 fingers, are you going to hand over that high-grade artifact? The robust middle-aged man's left wrist shook, and the chain connected to the meteor hammer vibrated. The meteor hammer bypassed the black palm and once again struck at Taoist 6 fingers. Clang! Taoist 6 fingers had no choice but to take out a dazzling yellow shield. The shield was extraordinary and actually managed to block the meteor hammer's strike. Right at this moment, the yellow-faced middle-aged man, who had remained motionless, finally moved. His figure flickered like an eagle, arriving above Taoist 6 fingers and punching down. There was a thud. Taoist 6 fingers, who had used the shield to block in time, did not fare well. His figure was sent flying in a rather sorry state. The yellow-faced middle-aged man chased after him and said calmly, Taoist 6 fingers, you can't keep this shield. If you insist on not listening to my advice, then I can only kill you. I only used 60% of my strength in that punch just now. Do you want to see a punch with 100% power? Hearing these words, Taoist 6 fingers' expression fluctuated and turned gloomy. He had underestimated the yellow-faced and robust middle-aged man's strength. The robust middle-aged man seemed to be slightly slower than him, but he comprehended the profound of fire, which gave him an extremely ferocious offensive power. However, Taoist 6 fingers still had the confidence to contend against him. On the other hand, he could not see through the yellow-faced man. The punch just now did not seem to contain any profound, but in fact, it was all contained within the fist energy. If he continued fighting, he would be injured even if he didn't die. Damn it, I didn't think that the mystic armor shield would change hands so soon after I obtained it. Daoist Six Fingers was flustered and exasperated, but he was just pretending to feel wronged. In the land of extreme Yin, there were many dirty things. It would be fine if no one questioned him after he obtained it, but if someone chased after him, he could only rely on his fists to do the talking. Unfortunately, his fists were not as hard as the other two. I'll give you the mystic armor shield. I hope you two will keep your word. Daoist Six Fingers did not intend to waste any more time. The robust middle-aged man sneered, even if you have the mystic armor shield, it won't be enough to kill you. Humph. Daoist Six Fingers coldly snorted and threw the mystic armor shield to the yellow-faced man. The robust middle-aged man's words were harsh, but they were not without reason. With the yellow-faced man's strength, Daoist Six Fingers wasn't confident in escaping. After catching the mystic armor shield, the yellow-faced man lightly said, "You can leave." "Oh right, you are not allowed to touch that kid." He could see that Daoist Six Fingers wanted to vent his anger on Yi Chen. After Daoist Six Fingers left, the robust middle-aged man gloomily said, "Senior Brother Wang, didn't we agree that I would fight with Daoist Six Fingers? Don't interfere." The yellow-faced man smiled and said, "Didn't you notice who that kid was? Who is it?" Speaking of which, the robust middle-aged man indeed didn't care about Yi Chen. "It's the genius that sect master fancied in South Rudra region, Yi Chen." While speaking, the yellow-faced man chased after Yi Chen who was running away. Yi Chen couldn't be blamed for running away. The three of them would settle their dispute, and it would be too dangerous for him to stay. Therefore, after observing for a while, he decided to leave. Swish! Two figures blocked Yi Chen's path. Yi Chen's face turned ugly. "Seniors, I wonder what business you have with this junior." The robust middle-aged man laughed, "Speaking of which, Senior Brother Wang and I are your senior brothers. Although you are not Sect Master's disciple, we are also no longer Sect Master's disciples." "Sect Master, Senior Brother?" Yi Chen doubtfully said, "Seniors come from Dragon God's celestial palace?" The yellow-faced man said, "That's right. Me and Junior Brother Yen were once Sect Master Dragon King's disciples. Unfortunately, our talents weren't enough, and we were no longer disciples after reaching a certain age. However, we never forgot our duties as disciples. Since you're favored by Sect Master, we've already tacitly agreed that you're Sect Master's disciple. You won't mind if we call you Junior Brother, right?" One of them was called Wang Shi, and the other was Yen Kuei. "So, it's Senior Brother from Dragon God's Celestial Palace." "Yi Chen, sorry for not recognizing you." Yi Chen let out a sigh of relief. So, it turned out they were on his side, causing him to run for his life. Right, how did they recognize him? He had never seen them before. Immediately, he voiced out his doubts. "We've seen your portrait. In fact, everyone with a bit of status in Dragon God's Celestial Palace has seen your portrait. That's why we could recognize you at a glance." Wang Shi explained. "Senior Brother Wang, what's going on with this Daoist Six Fingers?" Recalling how he was almost killed and heavily injured, Yi Chen felt a lingering fear in his heart. However, with the heavenly demonic flower's petals, this kind of injury couldn't do anything to him. Yen Kuei snorted coldly and said, "One of our junior brothers was killed, and his top-grade defensive artifact, the mysterious armor shield, was lost in the extreme Yin region. Senior Brother Wang and I were ordered to come here and take back the mysterious armor shield. Once I know who killed our junior brother, I will make sure he dies without a burial place. Speaking of which, Junior Brother Yi is worthy of being a genius favored by Sect Master. To be able to withstand an attack from Daoist Six Fingers without dying, it truly makes us blush with shame." Yen Kuei faintly nodded. Daoist Six Fingers can be considered an expert among Sea of Soul realm experts. If news that he couldn't kill you in one attack spread out, it would be enough to shake the younger generation. Yichen smiled bitterly. Daoist's 6 fingers only casually dealt a blow, yet I was already heavily injured. If you were to get serious, even 10 of me wouldn't be able to resist. Senior brother Wang, senior brother Yan, don't praise me. Kid, don't be discontented. Back then, when we were at your cultivation base, let alone Daoist 6 fingers, any Sea of Soul Realm expert could easily kill us. Compared to you, we're the ones ashamed. Yan Kuei scolded with a smile. Chapter 409. Brother Yan is right. Compared to most of the people, your talent and comprehensive ability are unparalleled. However, Wang Shi's tone suddenly changed as he said, today is different from the past. If you want to be at the forefront, you will need to work even harder. Otherwise, you will be surpassed sooner or later, and then you will be eliminated. In the past 10 years, the number of martial geniuses has increased by a couple times, or even 10 times. Just our Dragon God Celestial Palace alone has a lot of martial geniuses, who were all selected from different regions. Some of them are unique in terms of martial arts comprehension, some of them have amazing potential in terms of willpower, and some of them are extremely talented. Talent? In Yichen's understanding, talent referred to training talent. Wang Shi said, Brother Yi, have you heard of spirit bodies? Attributed spirit bodies. Yichen recalled all the information that the Battle King had imparted into his brain, and he seemed to have mentioned something about attributed spirit bodies. That's right. Some people are more suitable for training fire element Jin Yuan, while others are more suitable for training earth element Jin Yuan. Letting them train other element Jin Yuan would require twice the effort for half the result, and they would not be able to display their potential. However, these kinds of people's potential would evolve once again, and they would have an elemental spirit body. There are all kinds of different elemental spirit bodies, such as gold spirit body, wood spirit body, water spirit body, and so on. People with gold spirit body would be able to train gold element Jin Yuan several times faster than ordinary people. What's more frightening is that they would be able to comprehend gold mentality or gold profound several times faster. Their body and soul are extremely compatible with the gold element source, and 1 year of training would be equivalent to several years of bitter training for others. Especially after reaching the Sea of Soul realm, they would have an even greater advantage, and could easily comprehend gold profound. Our Dragon God Celestial Palace has a water spirit body genius. I heard that the Thunder Princess of the Thunder region is a thunder spirit body genius. As for what kind of spirit bodies there are in the southern regions, I have no idea. Yichen nodded, Brother Wang, don't worry. I have never slacked off. Speaking of which, your Sky Cloud Martial School is not simple at all. Besides you, there is also Su Jing, who has just become a direct disciple. Her talent is even rarer. She is actually a top martial genius who is born to train chi power. The leader had said that Su Jing's talent is even higher than his, but she has not used all of her potential yet, not even 10% of it. I really do not know if it is true or not. Yan Kuei nodded, the leader values Su Jing a lot, more than any other disciple. I have never seen the leader value someone this much, including his direct descendant. Yichen chuckled. It was naturally good that Su Jing was valued. As for Dragon King saying that she was talented, he must have seen something. Brother Yi, our mission has been completed, and we have to go back to report. Are you going to the extreme Yin place? Wang Shi asked. Yes. Then be careful. The extreme Yin place is very chaotic. It is a lawless place. Also, don't cause trouble in the auction houses. The auction houses are backed by 3 life and death kings. Although they can't appear in the extreme Yin place, life and death kings have to give them face. Otherwise, we wouldn't have to chase Daoist 6 fingers so hard. We could just force the auction house to hand over the treasure. Wang Shi reminded. Yan Kuei interrupted, of course, Brother Yi, you don't need to be afraid. If anyone dares to touch you, just fight back. Extreme astral reaching experts are considered top figures. Moreover, if you don't fight back, others will treat you like a soft persimmon. In a lawless place, violence was the only useful method. The three had never met before, but they were chatting happily. However, all good things must come to an end. After exchanging a few words, Wang Shi and Yan Kuei flew off into the distance. It's only interesting when there are many geniuses. Otherwise, it would be too boring. Yi Qin had never considered the young generation of the true spirit continent as pressure. Becoming stronger was his goal, and the process of becoming stronger was his life. What was the point of being invincible after training for 100 years? The value of life was that you were alive, not a dream. The extreme place, throughout the year, it was filled with a faint black mist. This mist was formed by mixing earth qi with other kinds of qi. Staying in here, people would become more and more violent, more and more unruly. With a slight stimulation, blood would flow like a river, and corpses would be everywhere. Of course, this place could also be used to train people. In this chaotic place, if one could maintain their original heart and not be shaken, it would be very helpful to strengthen one's will. A human figure descended from the sky, landing on the ground. What a dense, heterogeneous aura. This was a huge wasteland. Looking down, rolling black smoke like gas gushed out from the ground, rolling and turbulent. It was as if this was not land, but the sky, except that the white clouds had been replaced by black clouds. Even with Yi Chen's powerful sword intent, he could sense that this mixed earth qi had a side effect of affecting his mind. It would be fine for a short period of time, but after a long period of time, his mind would be eroded by the mixed earth qi, and his personality would change drastically, becoming bloodthirsty and violent. There are a lot of powerful warriors in the extreme place. Some of the hidden areas have Sea of Souls realm warriors. I should not fly in the sky, since it would be too eye-catching. Shoo! Turning into a beam of light, Yi Qin kept close to the ground as he flew at a low altitude. After flying for about an hour, Yi Qin saw a group of horses and carriages in the distance. This group was very different from the ones outside. The carriages were made of black wood, and there were some patterns carved on the surface. If one looked carefully, one could see that there was a light shining on the patterns, circulating automatically. Mechanism art. Yi Qin was shocked. The mechanism art was not as good as the puppet art, but there were a lot of similarities. For example, as long as there was a power source, it would be able to provide energy. If he guessed it right, the defense of the carriages should not be weak. When faced with danger, it could activate a protective layer to protect the carriages from being damaged, which was similar to his puppet house. Of course, the puppet house was more advanced, since it would require a mental imprint, which could be controlled with mental power. The carriages were not pulled by normal horses, but a kind of horse-type demonic beast called the Black Submerged Horse. The Black Submerged Horse stepped on the smoke and ran in the sky, causing the carriages to float in the air as well. It was a huge group of carriages flying at a low altitude. It could be seen that this caravan had suffered heavy losses. Some of the patterns on the surface of the carriages had been severed. When the flowing light reached there, it immediately stopped, unable to move freely. The human cultivators on horseback were covered in blood, their faces grave. On the third carriage, the curtain was pulled open, and a pretty head popped out. She seemed to want to see what was going on, but when she saw Yi Qin flying on the wasteland by himself, her eyes brightened. Her red lips opened slightly, and her voice was like a wind chime. "Child, are you going to the Blackwater City?" The elder sitting on the shaft was startled, and he said with a low voice, "Miss, this guy is not from anywhere. It would be best not to mess with him. Traveling as fast as possible is the right thing to do." The young lady called Miss said, "Steward, we have lost a lot of people. There are still tens of thousands of miles between here and the Blackwater City. I can see that he is so young, and since he has come out to travel, he must be quite powerful. If we invite him into the group, there will be no harm in it. The steward glanced at Yu Chen and said, his cultivation is indeed not weak. He is a late astral reaching realm warrior. The steward himself was at the peak level of late astral reaching realm. If that is the case, then it would be even better. Hearing her, Yu Chen frowned a little. The extreme Yin place was quite vast, and the ground was covered in black smoke. It would be hard to recognize the terrain, and it would be easy to get lost. So, following the group might be a better choice. With that thought in mind, he nodded, indeed. The young lady said, the extreme Yin place is very dangerous. If you travel alone, you will cause a lot of trouble. Why don't you come with us? If you don't mind, I will. Yu Chen moved closer to the group. The steward studied Yu Chen for a while and realized that he was younger than he had expected, only 21 years old. Such a young man must be one of the top young warriors from some region, which made him feel a lot better. At least, the chance of a young man being a bandit was very low. The young lady pointed at a carriage in the back. It is empty. You can go in and rest. I will call you when we reach the Blackwater City. Thank you. Yu Chen did not say much. His body flashed and landed on the shaft of the carriage. He opened the curtain and went in. Miss, even if you invite him, he might not help us when we are in danger. The steward shook his head and looked forward. The extreme Yin place is hard to recognize. I invited him into the group and let him rest in one of the carriages. It is more or less a privilege for him. If we are in danger, he might consider whether or not to help us. Plus, we might not be in danger. Yeah, we will do as you say. The steward thought about it and agreed. Inviting Yu Chen in would mean that they would have one more late astral reaching realm warrior. Who knows, he might help them when they were in danger. Plus, one more late astral reaching realm warrior would mean an extra layer of safety. This was without a doubt. The inside of the carriage was very clean. It seemed like someone had been here before, but now that they were gone, they were most likely dead. Yu Chen sat down and let out a breath. Boom! After an unknown period of time, the carriage started to shake slightly. It is an earth dragon. 3 rank 7 earth dragons. An exclamation entered Yu Chen's ears. Reaching out his hand to open the curtain, Yu Chen looked over. In the black smoke, 3 earthworm-like beasts that were countless times bigger than earthworms broke out of the ground. These 3 beasts were dozens of meters long, and their heads were filled with sharp teeth. They attacked towards the people in the carriages. The extreme Yin place only had demonic beasts, earth dragons. Evil creatures, you are looking for death. The steward and many of the experts in the group attacked one after another. All kinds of light shone, attacking the earth dragons. The earth dragons loved the earth chi and Yin chi the most, and the extreme Yin place was undoubtedly their base. With the power of the terrain, the rank 7 earth dragons were as powerful as rank 8 beasts. Normal astral reaching realm warriors would not be able to compete with them at all. Only the housekeeper could beat them. Sky-breaking cut. After fighting for a long time, the steward's Xin Yuan started to boil. He held his great blade and slashed on one of the earth dragon's heads. Swoosh! The head of the earth dragon fell off, and the dirty blood spilled everywhere. However, the earth dragon did not seem to be affected. Its tail shot out of the ground, which was also filled with sharp teeth. Is he really an ungrateful person? The young woman glanced at Yu Chen secretly. Seeing that he was not doing anything, she could not help but feel a bit disappointed. Yu Chen had his own plan. These earth dragons could not do anything to the experts in the group, and it was only a matter of time. When the time came, he would naturally help out. Chapter 410. Boom! 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 The beast Yuan and Zhen Yuan clashed together, bringing up waves of qi. The 3 earth dragons were wounded badly under the combined attacks of the crowd, their blood splashing everywhere. The earth dragons cannot hold on any longer. Everyone, keep it up. The leading guard leader continued to attack the earth dragons as he tried to boost the morale. Shoo! On the other side, the steward was fighting one earth dragon by himself. The blue great blade in his hand was like a beam of light blue lightning. Within a second, the tail of the earth dragon, which was full of sharp teeth, had been cut off as well, leaving only the torso in the middle, struggling on the ground. After taking care of one earth dragon, the steward turned around to help the others. With the help of the steward, the remaining 2 earth dragons could not do much. One died, and the other escaped. Huh! One of the guard team members breathed heavily as he looked at the dead body of the earth dragon on the ground. He said with lingering fear, luckily, it was a rank 7 earth dragon. If one of the 3 earth dragons was a rank 8 one, we would not be able to kill it even with all of us combined. Don't jinx it. A rank 8 earth dragon is not that easy to appear. It is an existence that can kill powerful astral-reaching realm warriors within seconds. I am just saying. Right then, someone looked over at the carriage that Yi Chen was in and said with disdain, Miss invited him to join the team and take him to the Blackwater City. But he is just resting in the carriage like it is nothing. He does not care about what is going on here. Who does he think he is? I think Miss should not have invited him. He only knows how to enjoy himself. No, we have to talk to Miss and ask him to leave. Yeah, we should ask him to leave. The steward heard the discussion and walked over. What are you guys talking about? Go pack up and get going. Steward Liu, we are not happy about it. Why can he stay in the carriage and rest while we are fighting for our lives here? The steward glanced at Yi Chen's direction. He is a guest. Ha! Seeing that there is trouble, a guest should help out. It is not like it is a life and death situation. Li is also wounded, and we have lost another warrior. Stop talking. I will talk to Miss later. Then, the steward yelled, all right, go pack up and get going. The caravan continued its journey at lightning speed. On the shaft of the carriage, the housekeeper said to the young woman in the carriage, Miss, the guards have objections. Is it targeted at that young master? Yes. It's not easy. I was the one who invited him here, and there was no agreement beforehand. I can't chase him away just because he doesn't want to fight. Moreover, there might not be any danger along the way, so I'll just take him along. That's true. How about this? If he doesn't lend a hand when we encounter trouble next time, we can only politely ask him to leave. Otherwise, it will affect everyone's morale. All right then. The young woman was a little vexed. She saw that Yi Chen was not a heartless person, so why didn't he help? In the carriage behind, Yi Chen didn't hear the discussion of the crowd. Even if he had heard it, he wouldn't have cared. He wouldn't intervene in such a small matter. When it was time to intervene, he naturally wouldn't just stand by and watch. Right now, all of his attention was focused on the cultivation realm. He had been stuck on the 13th realm of the Green Lotus Sword spell for more than 2 years. Recently, there were finally signs of a breakthrough. Once he broke through, his battle power would increase drastically. It should be known that the 14th and 15th realm of top-rank Earth realm martial arts could only be comprehended by Sea of Souls realm experts. It would be extremely difficult for astral-reaching experts to reach this level. Without any exaggeration, it would already be quite amazing for an astral-reaching expert to reach the 13th realm of a top-rank Earth realm martial art. After reaching the 14th realm, the 9 Green Lotus Sword Chi will transform into 1 Lotus Heart Sword Chi. According to the manual, the power of the Lotus Heart Sword Chi is quite horrifying. It can be used as a trump card, and I'm afraid it is not weaker than the Sky Thunder Cut. Moreover, compared to the Sky Thunder Cut, the Lotus Heart Sword Chi is even more secretive. Letting out a breath of impure chi, Yi Chen sat on the soft cushion and put his hands together, as if he was holding an invisible ball. Inside his body, the green lotus Jin Yuan circulated according to the 13th realm Jin Yuan map. Vaguely, one could see that this map was different from before, as if there was something extra. In the extreme yin place, the earth chi was rich, while the yang chi was thin. The sky seemed to be lower than the outside world. It was dark and gloomy, without any bright colors. It was extremely depressing. There was a low mountain in front of the team, and a group of powerful warriors were standing on top of it. Brothers, get ready. Another batch of fat sheep is coming. Hee, last month, we did not even get a single soul stone. This month, we got lucky. This is already the third batch, right? I hope it will be more profitable. Don't worry. According to the third brother, there are dozens of astral reaching realm warriors in this team. That lady is not a small figure either. She must have a lot of wealth on her. Plus, their carriages are not simple either. It is a rare mechanical carriage. Any one of them would be worth a lot of mid-rank soul stones. Mechanical carriage. Could it be the carriage of the Blackwater City's MO family? Who cares about the MO family? If the leader of the MO family was here, perhaps I would be a bit scared. But right now, he is just a piece of shit. Brothers, just kill as much as you want. As for that lady, we can play with her for a couple of days. I believe that old man MO would go crazy. Ha! The leading evil-looking bulky man laughed out loud. The group of astral reaching realm warriors and a lot of clasping Yuan realm warriors all laughed as well. The extreme yin place was a lawless place. Robberies on the way were too normal, and it happened every day. They, the Black Wind Gang, could be counted as a second-tier gang in this area. They had killed at least 800 people, if not 1,000. Plus, they would always change places. Relying on robberies, they had been living quite well in the extreme yin place. They are here. Surround them. From dozens of miles away, the evil-looking bulky man had already seen the team in the black fog. He was the first one to rush down the mountain, flying at a high speed. Follow them. More than 30 astral reaching realm warriors and hundreds of clasping Yuan realm warriors were like a fast-moving dark cloud, flying towards the team. There is a killing intent. The steward on the carriage squeezed his eyes and looked up. There were countless human figures flying towards them, and the few in the front were all at peak level late astral reaching realm. Not good. Run. The steward could not care less, he opened his mouth and yelled. There were dozens of astral reaching realm warriors in the team, but they had run into a couple of groups of robbers on the way. After fighting for a while, they had lost a lot of people. Otherwise, they would not be so easily killed. Right now, the only thing they could do was to run. Once they were surrounded, they would definitely die. The young woman lifted up the curtain. Steward, what's wrong? The steward forced a smile and said, we are in trouble. A group of robbers has their eyes on us. They might be the infamous Black Wind Gang. Black Wind Gang. The young woman looked serious. Back in the day, her grandfather, the leader of the MO family, had killed the second leader of the Black Wind Gang. They had quite a grudge against each other. Now that they were being robbed, it would not be as simple as just robbing them of their wealth. The Black Wind Horse stepped on the smoke, pulling the carriage and running at full speed. The guards on the carriage all looked terrified. The Black Wind Gang has killed countless people. They rarely leave anyone alive. I am afraid we will not be able to get through this. Let's fight it out with them. We have dozens of astral reaching realm warriors, and 3 of them are at late astral reaching realm. The steward is even at the peak level late astral reaching realm. If the Black Wind Gang wants to kill us, they will have to pay a price. The young man on the carriage seems to be at late astral reaching realm as well. What can he do? Without any surprise, once the battle starts, he will be the first one to run. Alright, everyone, focus. Get ready. The team was traveling at a fast speed, but compared to the astral reaching realm warriors flying at full speed, it was still a lot slower. Dozens of miles of distance had been shortened by half within a second. Miss Mo, you will not be able to get away. Stop the carriage now, and I might let you live. The evil-looking man held his long spear as he talked to the steward through the air. The steward had already taken out his great blade. Don't you dare. Are you not afraid that the Mo family will find out about this and take out your Black Wind gang? The Mo family is nothing. Plus, if I kill you, who would know? Stay. Boom. A spear light shot out in the air, piercing through the carriage at the back. The intense vibration made the whole team shake a bit. Piss off. The steward would naturally not let the evil-looking man attack the team. He waved his blue great blade, and an aggressive blade chi was thrown out. Ting! After shattering the blade chi with one spear attack, the evil-looking man's speed did not decrease at all, as if it was not affected at all. Your power is just as so-so. Unfortunately, it is not worth mentioning in my eyes. If it were the leader of the Mo family, then it would be more like it. Brothers, let's go. Stop them. Not good. They are just as powerful as the leader of the family. The steward's face darkened. The leader of the Black Wind gang was way more powerful than he had imagined. He was almost a top astral reaching realm warrior. In the Blackwater City, top astral reaching realm warriors would already be considered as the top warriors, and extreme astral reaching realm warriors would be the tyrants. As for Sea of Souls realm warriors, they would only appear in the big auctions. After a while, the team was finally surrounded. The young woman, who was the lady of the Mo family, walked out of the carriage. She frowned and said, "You want wealth? I can give it to you." The third leader of the Black Wind gang laughed, "Since Miss Mo is this straightforward, then take out 1 million mid-rank soul stones. We promise that we will not touch you." 1 million mid-rank soul stones. Miss Mo had a bad look on her face. They obviously did not want to let them go. The total mid-rank soul stones they had would not be more than 200,000. Even for a rank 7 family like the Mo family, 1 million mid-rank soul stones would be more than enough to hurt them. Since you cannot take it out, then all of you will die. The leader of the Black Wind gang, the evil-looking man, waved his hand, ready to start the killing. All of the powerful warriors on the team had their hearts squeezed, ready to die. There were so many of them, and there were so many powerful warriors. No matter if they tried to run or not, they would not be able to escape death. Instead of that, they might as well kill as many as they could. Inside the carriage, Yichen woke up from his training. Hearing the commotion outside, he shook his head slightly and walked out of the carriage. The steward and Miss Mo had all noticed him, thinking that he was trying to cut ties with the team. However, the result was not what they had expected. Yichen lifted up his head and looked at the leader of the Black Wind gang. A sharp light shot out of his eyes. "I will give you 3 blinks of time. Piss off." Once he said that, his voice was so loud that it sounded like thunder. Chapter 411. The black hidden horses were startled and started neighing. Luckily, all of the clasping Yuan realm warriors from the Mo family were still on the horses. "Bastard! Who are you?" Yi Chen's voice was filled with killing intent of the sword. The leader of the Black Wind gang felt like he was hallucinating. He could not help but back out for dozens of steps as he yelled angrily. 2. Yi Chen did not answer the question. Instead, he put his right hand on his sword. "Go! All of you! Kill them all! Leave no one alive!" The leader of the Black Wind gang waved his hand as he yelled with a hideous face. "Kill! Kill!" 30 astral reaching realm warriors and hundreds of clasping Yuan realm warriors rushed over from all directions. Among them, the leader of the Black Wind gang had the most powerful warriors and warriors. "Let's do it!" The steward and Miss Mo did not think that Yi Chen would be able to handle the Black Wind Gang. However, he had stood out in this critical moment, which made them feel relieved. They felt guilty for doubting him before. 3. As he said those 3 words, Yi Chen took out his destruction sword without any hesitation. He slashed out 3 times, horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. Within a second, the 9 sword lights covered hundreds of meters of area and interweaved together, attacking all of the Black Wind Gang members like a light net. Puff! 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 Blood spilled everywhere, and pieces of flesh flew everywhere. The dozens of astral-reaching realm warriors and hundreds of clasping Yuan realm warriors had all been cut into pieces. They did not even have the time to scream. Yi Chen's sword had already surpassed their reflexes. By the time the pain reached their brains, they had already lost their lives. What? The 2 sides who were about to fight stopped in shock. One attack, only one attack, and he had killed 1/3 of the Black Wind Gang. This was not a joke, was it? Didn't it mean that all of the Black Wind Gang members combined could not even take 3 attacks from him? What kind of person was he? Miss, the team is saved. He is a top martial genius who can fight beyond his cultivation. The housekeeper took a deep breath. His voice was trembling. As the housekeeper of the Mo family, he had seen many geniuses. There were geniuses from the Misty Snow region, the Wavy Cloud region, the Thunder region, and the Mogu Sand region. However, geniuses who could easily kill experts of the same level were absolute geniuses. They were the kings of experts of the same level, and their battle prowess could be described as horrifying. Miss Mo murmured, so he didn't help before because he felt it was beneath him to help. That kind of small trouble wasn't worth his time. At the same time, the Mo clan's guards all understood, and they all felt very ashamed. Impossible. Go to hell. The Black Wind bandits had suffered too heavy of a loss. Without 3 to 5 years of accumulation, it was basically impossible to make up for such a huge loss. With just one move, the other party had destroyed 3 to 5 years of hard work. How could the Black Wind bandit leader not be angry? How could he not hate Yi Chen? His rage raised his battle condition to its peak. With both hands holding onto the fiery red long spear, his body burned with flames that could melt gold and iron. Like a human-shaped pillar of fire, he charged towards Yi Chen. Red flame kill. As he threw out a spear attack, the aggressive fire spear light filled up everyone's vision. The Black Wind bandit leader's power as a top astral-reaching realm warrior had been fully unleashed, and he had even made a breakthrough. Facing his angry spear attack, even an extreme astral-reaching realm warrior would have to avoid it. Don't fight with him head-on. Miss Mo couldn't help but yell out. Yi Chen lifted up the destruction sword with his right hand and said lightly, "It was just a weak spear attack. No need to worry." After he finished speaking, he waved down his long sword. Swoosh! The whole surreal space seemed to have been cut in half. That bright sword light lit up this dark world. Then, everyone stared at the Black Wind bandit leader. He was so powerful, but under Yi Chen's sword attack, he still could not escape the fate of being dismembered. Dark blood splashed out. Even the head leader has been killed. How is this possible? Run! Run! We cannot fight against this guy. Horrible screams were heard. The rest of the Black Wind bandits were like bees that had their nest blown up. They started to run in all directions, wishing that their parents had given them more legs. Yi Chen did not plan to let them go. In the extreme place, there was no room for mercy. It was either you die or I die. Letting go of his enemies would be the same as leaving problems for himself in the future. Even if he was not afraid, he had to think about the Mo family. Either he did not want to be a good person, or he would do it all the way. Countless green lotuses appeared outside of Yi Chen's body. Countless sword chi shot out in all directions at an even faster speed. Basically, everyone had to face 3 to 4 extremely sharp sword chi at the same time. Like it was raining, the Black Wind Bandit members who had escaped far away fell down from the sky one after another. That unbreakable sword chi had pierced through their bodies, and the remaining power did not disappear until it reached even further away. After one round of attacks, the rest of the Black Wind Bandits had all been killed. So powerful. With his power alone, he had killed all the Black Wind Bandits. Even with the advantage of numbers, they could not even handle one attack from him. I am afraid that even the powerful Mo family would not be able to handle one sword attack from him. Is this the power of a top martial genius? Miss Mo and the housekeeper both gasped. Floating in the air, Yi Chen's soul power spread out. He raised his left hand into the air, releasing a wave of suction power. All of a sudden, hundreds of storage rings flew into his hand like swallows returning to their nest. Yi Chen did not even look at them before putting them all into his storage ring. Landing back on the carriage, Yi Chen looked at Miss Mo, trouble solved. Let's go. Ah. Yes. Miss Mo froze for a second, then yelled, everyone, pack up. Let's go. The team started their journey again. Everyone's mentality had changed. On Yi Chen's carriage, Miss Mo held her hands together and said, thank you for saving my life, sir. Please forgive me for the misunderstanding earlier. It was only a small matter. Of course, I would not sit on this carriage for nothing. My name is Mo Li, a lady from the Mo family in the Blackwater City. Before I met you, our team had been attacked by a couple of groups of bandits, and we had lost a lot of people. Therefore, I invited you to join us, hoping that you could help us out in times of danger. But, we did not make any promises beforehand, so there was no reason for us to blame you. Instead, we were the ones who judged you. Yi Chen said, if it were me, I would have done the same. As long as I did not have the intention to hurt anyone, I do not care about anything else. Sir, you have a big heart. I admire you. Mo Li let out a breath and laughed. This must be your first time in the extreme mean place, right? If there is anything you do not know, I will explain it to you. Yi Chen nodded, it is indeed my first time here. Are there a lot of dark power parties in this extreme mean place? In the outside world, it was not that there were no dark power parties, but they were not as arrogant as this place. Plus, because of the existence of the martial institutions, the dark power parties were all targets to be killed. They would usually hide and no one knew about them. Yeah, there are so many dark power parties in the extreme mean place. Just around the Blackwater City, there are already 5 big dark power parties. The Black Wind Gang is only a second-tier dark power party. The first-tier dark power parties are 10 times more powerful than the second-tier dark power parties. They have hundreds of astral-reaching realm warriors. Any one of their branches would be more powerful than the Black Wind Gang. Our Blackwater City has to pay a protection fee to the first-tier dark power parties every year. Therefore, the first-tier dark power parties would not go out and rob people. It is a place where the dark power parties live. Yi Chen had a general understanding of the extreme mean place. Chapter 4:12. With Yi Chen there, the guards of the Mo family team all relaxed a little. In the extreme mean place, as long as there were no Seas of Souls realm warriors, there was nothing to worry about. In their opinion, Yi Chen was at least an extreme astral-reaching realm warrior. No, he was one of the top extreme astral-reaching realm warriors. Even those top-ranked dark parties would have to respect an extreme astral-reaching realm warrior, unless there was some kind of life-and-death hatred between the two. In the dusky evening, the team finally made it back to the Blackwater City. The Blackwater City was one of the border cities of the extreme mean place, with a population of millions. The city walls and most of the buildings were built with the unique black stones of the extreme mean place. It looked very cold, full of killing intent, like a beast crawling in the darkness. Mr. Yi, my Mo family is in the eastern part of the city. Mo Li blinked her eyes as she looked at Yi Chen. Yi Chen understood what she meant. She wanted to invite him to be her guest and express her gratitude. But for him, it did not mean much. This was just a chance encounter in his life, and saving people was just a small effort. If he wasted his time on her thanking him, then he might as well not save her at all. Nah, I will stay in a hotel. Yichen jumped off the carriage and searched for the nearest hotel. Emily still wanted to say something, but the steward stopped her. Miss, we are not the same kind of people as him. You should have known it from the beginning. Hearing him, Emily stopped talking. Indeed, in his eyes, they were just a group of passers-by, and they would not have anything to do with each other in the future. Let's go back. It was the first time for Yichen to experience the chaos of the extreme place. In the short while of searching for the hotel, he had seen at least 3 murder cases. The first one was a group of people beating a young beggar to death in an alley. The second one was when a husband found out that his wife was cheating on him, so he killed his husband and tore his wife in half. The third one was in front of the hotel, where 2 clasping Yuan realm warriors drank too much, and their argument turned into a life-and-death battle. In the end, the whole hotel was destroyed, which pissed off an astral-reaching realm warrior, who destroyed their dantian and limbs, and hung them on the flagpole in front of the hotel. As for brawls, they were even more frequent and frightening. The entire Blackwater city was filled with a darkness that was even more eerie than the night, and the air was filled with a bloody smell that made one's blood boil. The first restaurant collapsed, and Yichen went to the second one. Young master, are you staying in the inn? It had to be said that in the extreme place, the one with the bigger fist was the boss. Seeing Yichen beat up an astral-reaching expert who had caused trouble, causing him to vomit blood and then casually throw him out of the restaurant, the shopkeeper's attitude changed from formal to respectful as he greeted Yichen with a smile. I'll stay here for a few nights. Yichen took out a big bag of low-rank soul stones from his storage ring, which was a whole 1,000 pieces, and threw it on the counter. Extreme place was different from the outside world. The cost of living here was ridiculously high, which was very abnormal. But, thinking about the environment of the extreme place, it was understandable. Apart from the big cities, the wilderness outside the cities was filled with all kinds of dangers. There were evil and murderous demonic beasts, robbers who would kill without blinking an eye. Without a certain level of self-protection, going out would be seeking death. All these kinds of dangers had led to a shortage of resources in the city. After all, the food in the stores and restaurants did not just fall from the sky. Mo Li's caravan was a good example. More than 20 astral-reaching experts and over 100 clasping Yuan martial artists had gone out to collect resources, but less than 50% had returned. The death rate was extremely high. Of course, there were pros and cons. Although the extreme place was so chaotic, the martial artists' cultivation base increased very quickly. Everyone had an intense sense of crisis, which forced them to crazily work hard to strengthen themselves. Once they became astral-reaching experts, the extreme place would no longer be dangerous for them. After all, the chances of encountering robbers were very low when moving alone, unless their luck was extremely bad. In which case, they could not blame anyone. Even if they cultivated in seclusion, there was still a chance of them dying from cultivation deviation. Led by the shopkeeper, Yichen arrived at the guest room on the 2nd floor. After taking a bath and eating a sumptuous meal, it was already late at night. He didn't think much of the noise before, but now that he had calmed down, Yichen felt that it was a bit unbearable. Groans, curses, knocking on the door, and the sounds of people walking up and down the stairs were all mixed together. It was incomparably noisy. No wonder there were so few astral-reaching experts staying in this restaurant. It was simply too noisy. Shut up. With a low shout, the aura on Yichen's body suddenly erupted, filling the entire restaurant. The aura contained the will of the slaughter sword Tao, penetrating deep into the soul. That kind of frightening feeling of soul and spirit being cut apart made everyone in the restaurant quiet down. Finally, I can cultivate in peace. Shaking his head, Yichen smiled bitterly. In the extreme Yin place, reasoning was useless. At the crucial moment, violence was still needed. Sitting cross-legged on the bed, Yi Chen put his hands together. The Jin Yuan inside his body revolved according to the Green Lotus Sword Art's 13th layer Jin Yuan route, continuously searching for a breakthrough point. Under the state of forgetting everything, one could see with the naked eye that Yi Chen's body and head were emitting green qi, like a layer of faint green flame. Pop! In the middle of the night, a faintly discernible popping sound came from Yi Chen's body. At the same time, Yi Chen's aura seemed to have strengthened a bit. 3 breakthroughs. I've finally broken through the first one. Slowly letting out a mouthful of impure qi, Yi Chen opened his eyes. The further one cultivated the Green Lotus Sword Arts, the harder it would be to break through. From the 13th layer to the 14th layer, there were 3 breakthroughs that needed to be broken through. During the journey, he had already seen the signs, and now, he had indeed broken through the first one. With this speed, it wouldn't take long for him to reach the 14th layer. At that time, he would be able to fight against Sea of Souls realm warriors who had trained top-rank Earth realm martial arts but had not reached completion. After a quiet night, Yi Chen purposely went to buy a map of the extreme Yin place. This map was extremely detailed, with a total of 38 pages. Each of them was 2 meters in length and width, and marked with the most obvious topography of the extreme Yin place. The drawing was very vivid, and there was basically no need to worry about not being able to find the location. However, this map was not cheap either, costing Yi Chen 500 low-rank spirit stones. On the 3rd day, Yi Chen checked out of his room and left Blackwater City. There were no countries or sects in the extreme Yin place, only gangs and cities. Gangs were naturally black power gangs, while cities were big and small. Among the numerous cities, there were 4 giant cities. The one closest to Blackwater City was 3 Yin City, which had a population of over 100 million, more than 20 Sea of Souls realm experts overseeing it, and thousands of astral reaching experts. In terms of comprehensive strength, even 2 or 3 ordinary 6th grade sects couldn't compare to it. If it could produce a life and death king, it would be able to enter the ranks of mid-5th grade sections. Every 3 months, 3 Yin City would hold a large-scale auction. At that time, some rare treasures that couldn't be seen in the outside world would appear in the auction. Of course, if one had any treasures worth auctioning, they could also hand them over to the auction. Whether it was clean or not, they would be able to take it all. Moreover, there was no need to worry about being chased, because the auction wouldn't reveal one's identity. Extreme Yin Place was equivalent to the super black market of Southern Sector, a breeding ground for chaos. On the land shrouded in black mist, a figure was flying at an extreme speed while maintaining a height of several hundred meters. Blackwater City is more than 200,000 li away from 3 Yin City. After taking a detour around the Blackstone Mountain Range, I'll be in 3 Yin City's territory. It had already been 5 days since he left Blackwater City. During this time, Yi Chen had encountered a bandit blocking his way. Moreover, it wasn't an ordinary bandit, but a first-rate black power among the 5 black powers surrounding Blackwater City. Their comprehensive strength was more than 10 times that of the Black Wind bandits. Unfortunately, although they were powerful, Yi Chen was even more powerful. 1 man and 1 sword, he killed them all. 3 of the 5 leaders were killed, while the remaining 2 wailed like ghosts and howled like wolves as they fled. They were terrified to death. How could they have imagined that there would be such a frightening existence in the astral reaching realm? Yi Chen could even be considered as the weakest Sea of Souls realm expert. The Blackstone Mountain Range was left behind, and ahead was a boundless Blackstone Plain. It's Murong Qingcheng. Dozens of li away, a large group of people was fighting. 2 people were surrounded. One was a young man wearing a silver robe. He had a tall and slender figure, and wore a silver crown on his head. His handsome face seemed to have been carved out by a knife or axe, with distinct edges and corners. Below his sharp eyebrows, his pitch-black eyes gave off an exceptionally dangerous feeling. His gaze contained a bizarre charm that could disturb one's mind. His weapon was an azure dragon halberd. As he brandished it, azure light curled around it, making it seem like an azure dragon baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. It easily tore apart the bodies of the people surrounding him. On the other hand, the movements of the people surrounding him were clearly a lot slower, allowing them to be killed as they pleased. If Yi Chen's guess was right, the opponent cultivated an eye martial art, a bit like the God Eye King in the King Will statue. Of course, compared to the God Eye King, the opponent's eye martial art was simply child's play, not worth mentioning. At the astral reaching realm, to be able to cultivate an eye martial art to the point of affecting experts of the same level. This person's strength is even stronger than Feng Yanro and Mysterious Moon Prince, and not just by a bit. I reckon that he's more or less the same as Feng Yanro's senior brother and Redwater Sect's Redwater Minor Master. If one didn't walk out of South Rudra region, one wouldn't know that there were absolute geniuses everywhere. The head disciple of the Drifting Snow Hall, the Redwater Minor Master of the Redwater Sect, and this incomparably handsome young man wearing a silver crown. Each and every one of them were well-known figures among absolute geniuses. Moreover, according to Senior Brother Wang of Dragon God Celestial Palace, Thunder Region's Thunder Princess was even more powerful. Yi Chen wondered to what extent. Shifting his gaze, Yi Chen's attention fell on the body of the absolute beauty beside the young man. She was still wearing a purple dress, and her face was covered with a light veil. Who else could it be but Murong Qingcheng? After not seeing her for a long time, Yi Chen didn't know whether it was his misconception or not, but Murong Qingcheng's temperament had become even more profound, and her appearance even more beautiful. If one were to say that the previous Murong Qingcheng was a grade and a half above some of the absolute beauties Yi Chen had seen, then right now, she was completely unrivaled, and could even be considered as a beauty capable of causing the downfall of cities. The appearance of an angel, the temperament of a devil. It was nothing more than this. Compared to the slight changes in temperament and appearance, Murong Qingcheng's strength had improved by a lot. She used the great sky demon art, sweeping away numerous experts like rain. Soon after, a frightening force field shot out, blasting an extreme astral reaching expert to the point of vomiting blood. Peak late astral reaching realm cultivation base. Yi Chen could see through Murong Qingcheng's background with a single glance. She had unexpectedly overtaken him in terms of cultivation base. Of course, Yi Chen wasn't too surprised. In terms of cultivation talent, Yi Chen wasn't particularly outstanding. He was inferior to Murong Qingcheng in the first place. The reason why he could surpass the young generation of South Rudra region before was because of all kinds of opportunities. However, the competition between geniuses wasn't decided in a day or night. It was a long competition. Moreover, she was a disciple of a 6th grade sect, Sky Demon Sect, after all. Chapter 413. Ignorant fools, you actually dared to gang up on me and Qingcheng. The silver-crowned youngster addressed Murong Qingcheng very intimately, as if he wanted to show off in her eyes. His eyes shone with a divine light, and a circle of invisible light spread out in a fan shape. Within the range of the light, the besiegers felt dizzy, and their battle prowess was greatly reduced. In the next moment, the frightening azure dragon Qi arrived, and those who were hit by it were torn into pieces. Blood rained down, and the murderous aura filled the air. Murong Qingcheng frowned, but did not say anything. Retreat. Seeing that the two were really hard to deal with, and that they had lost more than 100 subordinates without even touching a hair of the other party, the leader of this group of bandits immediately thought of retreating, and decisively gave the order. The besiegers had long since lost the will to fight. Hearing the order, how could they continue to stay? All of them circulated their Zhen Yuan with all their might, and fled in all directions. The silver-crowned youngster still wanted to continue chasing, but Murong Qingcheng said indifferently, "Don't chase." They ran fast enough. "Qingcheng, are you alright?" The silver-crowned youngster stopped chasing, and flew to Murong Qingcheng's side. Murong Qingcheng shook her head. Young Master Duan, just call me Murong. The silver-crowned youngster's expression slightly changed. He and Murong Qingcheng were not old acquaintances, but met each other in the extreme Yin region. When he saw her for the first time, he could no longer move his eyes away. As the head disciple of the soul-sundering sect, a 6th-grade sect of wavy cloud region, his strength was comparable to the Redwater Little Taoist. The number of beauties that adored him was innumerable. However, compared to Murong Qingcheng, they were simply not worth mentioning. It was hard for him to imagine how a small region like South Rudra region could produce such a heavenly being. Originally, he was going to another giant city, Great Yin City. However, after seeing Murong Qingcheng, he changed his mind and said that his destination was 3 Yin City, so that he could use this opportunity to go together. Unfortunately, along the way, Murong Qingcheng's attitude towards him was lukewarm, and it was hard for him to find a way to pursue her. Fortunately, the extreme Yin region was chaotic enough, and a group of powerful bandits had appeared. Although he was angry on the surface, inwardly, he was happy. After going through thick and thin together, they might be able to get closer to each other. However, at this moment, Murong Qingcheng's tone told him that he still had a long way to go before he could pursue her. Revealing a warm smile, the youth changed the topic. Great sky demon art is indeed worthy of its reputation. I'm afraid it's not below my soul-sundering divine eyes. Not at all. Soul-sundering divine eyes is a top-rank earth-grade art created by God I King. Wherever his gaze falls, even the soul will be affected. Murong Qingcheng was not flattering him. Soul-sundering sect was just like floating mountain sect, having produced a few life and death kings. Among them, the most famous was God I King. God I King's battle strength might be ordinary, but even those stronger than him would be apprehensive. His eyes were truly too strange. A vague complacency flickered in the youth's eyes. God I King was the pride of soul-sundering sect. He was confident that one day, he would also become an existence like God I King. Just as he was about to say something, he suddenly noticed that Murong Qingcheng's gaze was not on him. He couldn't help but follow her gaze. In his line of sight, a young man in blue was rushing over. His appearance was not as good as his, but what made him feel threatened was that this person's temperament was quite special. It was like a peerless sword hidden in a scabbard was about to be unsheathed. Qingcheng, no, Murong, who is he? The youth subconsciously began to view the newcomer with hostility. Murong Qingcheng faintly smiled. A friend of mine, named Yi Chen. Yi Chen, never heard of you. What kind of genius could a South Rudra region produce? The youth didn't put Yi Chen's strength in his eyes at all. On the contrary, the faint smile on Murong Qingcheng's face and the friend made him very uncomfortable, causing his eyes to squint. Swish! A figure flickered, and Yi Chen landed near Murong Qingcheng. Long time no see. Murong Qingcheng flicked her hair that had been messed up by the wind and said, Indeed, long time no see. Allow me to introduce you. This is the head disciple of Soul-Sundering Sect, a 6th-grade sect in Wavy Cloud region, Duan Lingyun. Duan Lingyun cleared his throat and looked straight at Yi Chen. I wonder which sect you're from. I don't seem to have heard of your name. With the sensitivity of a sword artist, Yi Chen could sense Duan Lingyun's hostility. However, he didn't put him in his heart. So what if I'm hostile? So what if I'm not hostile? In the end, this is a world where strength reigns supreme. Against experts of the same level, he didn't need to care about anyone's face. My sect is not worth mentioning. With an indifferent expression, Yi Chen didn't reply to the opponent's question. Duan Lingyun's expression turned gloomy. If not for Murong Qingcheng's presence, he wouldn't have minded teaching the opponent a lesson, letting him know how high the heavens were and how deep the earth was. Yi Chen, are you going to 3 Yin City? Murong Qingcheng wasn't trying to change the topic. In fact, she didn't believe that Duan Lingyun was Yi Chen's opponent. Moreover, she hadn't fallen to the point of being a mediator. She wanted to ask, so she asked. Every word and action of hers was directed at her heart. Indeed. Yi Qin nodded. Duan Lingyun saw that the situation wasn't right. This Yi Qin seemed to want to go with them. Originally, he and Murong Qingsheng were having a good time together. They had plenty of opportunities to be alone, so he didn't want anyone to interfere. His expression didn't look too good. With a face full of smiles, he said with an obscure tone, "Brother Yi, your destination should be Sun Yin City. Isn't that right?" Duan Lingyun intentionally emphasized the last three words. Yi Chen's eyes narrowed, and his gaze was as sharp as a sword. "Brother Duan, please conduct yourself with dignity. I, Yi Chen, don't need you to ask where I want to go. You're not worthy." Duan Lingyun clenched his teeth, and the aura that leaked out from the gaps of his teeth contained a piercingly cold killing intent. He was extremely furious. "Since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, don't blame me for being ruthless. I'll find an opportunity to let you know what regret is. Then, let's go together." Murong Qingsheng shot a glance at Duan Lingyun. She wanted him to leave. The two of them had nothing in common. However, if she let him leave now, he would definitely bear a grudge against Yi Chen. Duan Lingyun was nothing, and Yi Chen was more than enough to deal with him. However, Soul Sunder's sect couldn't be ignored. Soul Sunder's sect also had a Sea of Soul Master existence, and was several times more powerful than Floating Mountain. I wonder what level Yi Chen has reached. No longer paying attention to Duan Lingyun, Murong Qingsheng's true concern was Yi Chen. Every time she saw Yi Chen, she could feel that he had grown stronger. However, to what extent, she couldn't tell. It was as if he had an undefeatable body, and had never tasted defeat among experts of the same level. Every time she thought she had caught up to him, she would realize that there was still a huge gap between them once they reached a new realm. This was a character hidden in the clouds. Among experts of the same level, Yi Chen had left the deepest impression on her. The three's speed was extremely fast, galloping across the black stone plains. Swish! Abruptly, a figure that looked both real and fake drilled out from the ground of the black stone plains and soared into the sky. Its speed was unimaginable, and even Duan Lingyun, who was born in Soul Sunder's sect, was dumbfounded. The opponent's speed had already reached 18 times the speed of sound, and it could only be a Sea of Soul Realm expert. Moreover, it was not an ordinary Sea of Soul Realm expert. Therefore, if there were no accidents, this person was either a powerful Sea of Soul Realm expert with extraordinary speed, or a Sea of Soul Realm expert. There are actually 3 youngsters with decent strength here. My old lair in the Black Stone Plains should have been discovered by them. High in the sky, the figure's eyes were filled with killing intent. Forget it. As long as I can find the secret of the undying body, it doesn't matter if my lair is discovered. Killing them might cause a lot of trouble. It's better to have less trouble. I should hurry to the auction house and entrust the items to them. Increasing his speed, the figure soon disappeared. So this is a Sea of Soul Realm Master. His aura is so powerful that it's even above Long Bai's. I simply can't use soul power to probe. At Astral Reaching Realm, Yi Chen could release his soul power without the slightest scruple without worrying about being discovered. However, Sea of Soul Realm experts could already use soul power. With just a slight probe, they could discover his uniqueness. Not to mention a Sea of Soul Realm Master with a radiant will. If he were to probe with soul power for no reason, he might even lose his life. Let's continue on our way. Murong Qingsheng's brows smoothed out. Extreme Yin region was not South Rudra region. In terms of danger, Blood Demon Battlefield was not even 1/10 as dangerous. It was not a forbidden region, but it was more dangerous. Of course, in forbidden regions, one could encounter danger at any moment. Extreme Yin region, on the other hand, didn't reach such a level. Therefore, as long as one's luck wasn't too bad, one wouldn't have to worry about their lives being threatened. This was the difference between Extreme Yin region and Forbidden region. 2 days later, the three arrived at 3 Yin City. Rather than calling 3 Yin City a city, it would be better to call it a country surrounded by high walls. There were mountains, rivers, official roads, small roads, and even a small plain. All sorts of experts were flying in the air, flickering with gorgeous colors. Little Murong. In the distance, a white-haired old man transmitted his voice. Murong Qingqing said respectfully, Supreme Elder is in good health. He, come over here. The old man revealed a smile. Please wait a moment. Murong Qingqing greeted Yi Chen and Duan Lingyun, then flew in the old man's direction. A strange expression flickered in Duan Lingyun's eyes. Waiting for Murong Qingqing to leave, he blocked Yi Chen's path and released a frightening aura. Yi Chen, we've arrived at 3 Yin City. Shouldn't you change places? Don't worry, I'll explain things to Qingqing. She won't embarrass you. Yi Chen raised his eyes and spat out a single word, scram. Impudent. I've tolerated you for a long time. I'll ask you again. Are you leaving or not? Otherwise, I'll make you lose all face. If you continue to pester me, I'll definitely kill you in the future. As he spoke, Duan Lingyun's eyes shot out a frightening divine light. This divine light seemed to be able to split one's soul. Even without looking, one could feel the dizziness, the fear of not knowing where one was, and the pain in one's heart. At this moment, Duan Lingyun pushed soul-splitting divine eyes to the limit. He believed that Yi Chen wouldn't be able to block it. Even Redwater Little Taoist wouldn't dare to get too close to him. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.